would please. All right, Bannock County Commissioners are back in session. Go ahead and introduce yourselves and who you represent.
Me, Kate Kennedy the First, CEO of Bannock Development Corporation.
Yareli Rodriguez, Executive Assistant, Mia Kate's Assistant.
Thank you. So what's going on?
So we're just here to give you a little bit of an update of what we've been doing, and if you have any questions. Seems like it's been a really long time, although I've seen you not that long ago. Haven't seen you hardly at all, and I've only seen you, John Crowder, probably at the last chamber meeting, so it's been a while. So a couple things in South County that we kind of wanted to discuss. We've invited Tyson from the Lava Hot Springs Foundation. We have invited him to also work with the economic developers in our area. And so he has asked us to, if we could do not marketing for tourism, but just because obviously they have a very low population and they're trying to figure out the workings of the city and how they can help that population, because it's at a critical point. And so we introduced him to some of our economic developers in a meeting that we called, and he was a really positive person in those meetings, and we just told him that we will help any way we can in any of the functions they need. Currently, Lava is sort of outsourcing their consulting for planning and whatnot. And so the city itself is making some headway into more organization and how do we keep this city growing and thriving. So we've just been a part of that, and that's new to us, but he's been a really great partner, and we're hoping that that will help him. If they need housing or they need investors or they need something that could help them, we'll be ready for them. And then he can attend to all the economic development things with us, because the foundation actually controls most of that funding, and so it just works a little bit different than what we're used to, but we're just like, hey, you're one of us, so come and join us. So that's exciting. Also, I think I met with Commissioner Huff to possibly go down at some point here and visit with Downey to see what their plans are also for development and growth, and then help them in any of the administration or governmental facilitating somehow to help them if they need help as well, because we can't grow if we don't have any of that in place. And so we're not probably a very big help for them unless we kind of help them to get there. And so that's also on our plate for South County. We currently have several property owners that are either trying to do something with their property, or we have someone that's maybe interested in their property that we're working on. Those talks are going kind of slow, because I think it's just been a slow few months for most people for actually bringing development in. I mean, even some of the bigger cities have seen slowdown statewide, but it's just a nature of where we're at with the seasons, I think, because usually we're busy all the time and we have not had a slowdown at all. So we're working with them. And then I think just countywide, we're really conscientious about what's going on with infrastructure and what can we do to get stuff ground ready. And once we do that, what do we put in those spots, or what do we need to really help us to lower property taxes and also get taxes from our businesses and make sure that we're all on par with what those taxes are. So that kind of rounds out what we've been doing just countywide. Citywide, we have lots of projects going on for both cities. Spending a lot of time working on projects that people have come to us individually, and maybe they're wanting to expand or they're wanting to bring a business here. We sent a business to IRG, so they're currently working with one. Things are going really well. We're doing a lot of work, and so that's kind of where we're at on what we've been doing. For the marketing plan that we're still working on, we had a discussion with them on, was it Tuesday?
Yes, Tuesday.
We had a discussion with them. They're currently going over some of the context that we've gone over, the contents of their report, and they're kind of finalizing that. Then we'll have a meeting with them to talk about how we brand for our area, and we'll provide all that to you guys to see what they say as experts that we should be focused on. And then they also give us the plans of how to market that. What they did decide to do is, with all the confusion with Bannock County, is because it looked like all the different logos and stuff they created, we were going to have our logo redone, but what we really decided was to have a logo that everyone could use as a subsidiary logo. And you could put, like, it says, it'll say Portneuf Valley, and then everyone can add their own tagline underneath it. And so they're currently working on a new rendition of that, and we're waiting to see that, and they said maybe a week or two before they come back with all of those. But the marketing thing is running behind because there was a couple people on that group who had some deaths in their family, but we've since gotten the report, and we're just going over the things that we have to pick through. And so that should be coming out soon too. So probably way before the next time I see you, you'll get that. So do you have any questions for me?
I've got a couple. Number one, how's the flight school coming?
Yes, we haven't made that official, but yes, the flight school, I've been out there numerous times. We have a little bit of issue on what property was available and where they would actually go long-term, and that's being cleared up this next week. I'm supposed to be on vacation, so I'm going to try and take a few days vacation, but after that, we are working on where it's going out there, but they're coming. The flight school itself is not holding it up, we are. Not us, but.
Right. And then I had a conversation with somebody the other day about how can we increase our intermodal footprint here and help Savage and maybe some other companies come that are doing some of that intermodal work, because that would fit with who we are.
Yeah, so did you miss our meeting when Intermodal gave their, at the board meeting?
I must have.
Yeah, so we had Savage at our board meeting. I've talked to them for a long time, and Brig and I decided that we put them as their own headline on our website so that people could understand what the intermodal is and all the questions that you might ask, how they plan on growing. That's all on our website now under transportation. And so that's been a huge help because we can just send people there and they're like, oh, I didn't even know they were working on this now. They didn't know that they took over the rail, fixing the cars and they have done that. So we're way ahead on that. What we've been working on with them is trying to get their current clients in a better position to increase their loads on the intermodal. And then we've also, I don't know if Brig told you, but he told the board, so it's public knowledge, of all the different things they're looking into to bringing to the intermodal themselves, like possibly hazardous materials or that exchange and a transload station. And so with that, we've been working on all that with them because we want the intermodal to be successful. And it's a lot of work for them, but we also feel like nobody was really focused on it for a while. And they're actually doing really well, but their clients that are using it now need some help, so we're working with those clients. Bannock Development is. I think it's going well, and I think they're going to do well. We've also saved them an additional spot at the airport for future. They don't think they're going to outgrow their new accumulated area for a while, but we think if they get really busy with some of these new businesses, including the one that I put to IRG, that possibly they will need.
Okay.
They will need more property.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're working with them. In fact, they'll talk at our symposium too, because they had good things to say about us helping them. And anybody else?
John?
Did you guys submit a balance sheet and a P&L?
Well, we always have our financials in all of our meetings. We didn't submit one to you.
This was more of an update meeting versus
Budget, this isn't a budget one.
Never mind.
Yeah, yeah. No, we don't do our budget meeting till later in the year, right?
Right.
In October or
Well,
something?
Well,
Or,
we'll need a formal request from you here the next month or so.
okay, but will you let me know when? 'Cause
Christie
it
will
seemed
be
like-
sending out an invitation.
Okay, because usually they let us know, yeah. This is just because I haven't talked to you guys in a while. Jeff, I know we haven't even seen you, Commissioner Huffer, at our meeting, so, and I've missed you a lot, so.
A couple of things. So we're down at our fairgrounds in Downey. We're gonna build a multi-purpose facility. Hopefully that can be utilized year-round instead of just for the week of the fair. And so we're trying to build up some events in Downey itself. Along with that, we're turning part of that over to Scott, who's our director up here, and try to get that facility utilized more for ropings or barrel racings and stuff like that. So we're trying to utilize that facility and bring people into that area. We're overcrowded up here, and so we'd like to get our overflow to hit Downey, so.
Well, that's excellent. I mean, I've always kind of seen Downey, I mean, it has such great, when I've come from the first day I came, I'm like, there's such great potential. Just the way Downey's laid out, and they have that little airport, and they've got, there's a lot of things that can be done there. And I just feel like it's really underutilized, so it's good to hear that. And maybe we can look and see what those plans are for the building and for what you're updating, so that we'll have an idea of what we can do to help out too.
It's at the engineer right now. to
That's
come up with
awesome.
concepts,
Well, I'm
so-
super excited about that.
So we'll see what happens there. And then we had our groundbreaking in McCammon, and they've started the facility for the fire
Fire
station
station.
and the ambulance deal, so be good to keep on top of that. There's some little things happening in Downey and in McCammon.
Yeah, so Aaron sits on our board, and he tells us a lot, but he's done an amazing job. And we're actually planning to make a trip down to McCammon so I can show Urelli, and we're just gonna visit with Aaron and see how far he's come since last year we were there. But I drive down to South County fairly often, just usually on my weekends or on Fridays when Urelli's off, and I've noticed so much different growth and just different potential down there. So compared to everything else, South County is really close to my heart too, just because the potential's really big. And I think Downey just needs a little bit of, and I don't know for sure, but kind of like Lava, they outsource some consulting, and it seems like that's kind of helping them. I think it's a really good idea because they can't really afford to have someone full-time, and maybe they don't need that because with only, under 300 of the population in Lava, that wouldn't make sense, right? But we did invite the mayor during the marketing, and we've stayed in touch to kind of just keep her apprised of what's happening in her areas too. So
I don't know if we've met the mayor, have we?
I think Commissioner Huff
I've met
has.
her.
You have? I
'Cause-
don't.
John knows her, don't you, John?
Who are you talking about?
The
The
mayor.
of Lava.
Lava, the new mayor?
Yeah, I've met her.
Okay, I don't know if I have or not.
Yeah, it might be good. I mean, she seemed kind of like a deer in the headlights because she's got a lot she's learning and going through. And so we're like, we can help you however you need. And part of our facilitation at Bannock Development is to get, the agencies to be working so we can do that development. So if we have to do the first parts of it, it's totally fine. We just find the right people or experts and help them out as much as we can. Then we can do our thing, which is busy. I see it growing. I see the intermodal growing, rail. Transportation's a huge thing. So I talked to Dustin Manwaring about possibly, how can we make things really transportation focused so that we can get some of these infrastructure and projects going. And so we're forming a subcommittee of people to just discuss that. And so if anybody wants to volunteer or be on that group, let me know. But it would just be really to push the needle instead of just talking about things and not actually, because, it can take a year or two to get anything going.
Well, you can't head out of Pocatello without hitting road construction.
I know, right? Well,
What
that's
direction
true. I mean, we even hit it, we were just looking at the interchange from that side. We came from the north side. And the interchange, I mean, that's a big hole down there. I had no idea. Like one night when I was going to the airport, it was during the day, but I felt like if you went too far over the side, you were going to land in a huge hole. I mean, like a huge hole.
Yes.
And so I was really surprised. I wasn't expecting it to look like that, but they're doing a good job out there. But the whole thing is all backed up right now. So I think people are like, what's going on now? They change that road every day.
They do.
Yes, they do.
So you try to get to the airport and you're like, well, am I leaning to the right or am I going over here? Is someone going to get me? You know, but they're doing a great job. So.
My wife travels from Ecom to ICCU.
Oh, yeah.
And
So,
sometimes she can make the flow, or sometimes she goes out to the
yeah.
north gate.
Come back.
Yeah, well,
She could be late for work once in a while, depending on how the road is.
and today, I mean, it was backed up all the way into the diamond there, the nonsense diamond in Chuddick, where it's always backed up. It was all the way backed up on both lanes, so I don't know what's going on, but I'm sure people are frustrated. But I mean,
Trying to
they're
avoid
doing
that.
a great job, and it's going fast.
It is.
I mean, it's been a long project, but just them working on it has gone fast because I see a big difference there, so. And just working on, still looking at Northgate, still looking at, there's still some property that's under, some things, and so we're still trying to figure that out. But overall, we've done about, 40 projects, and we get calls every week. Like I got a call today from someone who has a business, and within 24 hours, we get back to them and talk to them about what their needs are. We've actually already helped this person before, but now they're back, so we just want to make them successful.
Must have been positive then.
Well, I don't know, maybe we didn't help him with the right
If
thing.
they're
I don't
back,
know. He seemed pretty happy, so yeah. So we try to get them whatever they need, and we're working with all the other organizations like CCOG and Historic Downtown. We just called a meeting for all the different organizations, Matt at the Chamber, to see where we can help each other, considering how funds are and, how funding goes and who gets the funding and how we can help each other with that. So it's been really productive. It's been a really productive I'm excited for everything that's happening.
So you called a meeting for all these organizations?
Did I call
You
a
said
meeting?
you called a meeting for?
Yeah.
And which organizations?
We had CCOG, Downtown, Historical Downtown.
You already had the meeting?
Yeah, we had it yesterday. The Chamber, we had Stephanie Pelagi, and who else do we have?
We have
Tyson, and Kristen Jensen wasn't there, but we'll fill her in. And SBA was there, and Swanson and the college. And basically, it was just a meeting for us because we feel like a lot of the community asks us what we do, and they don't know. But we found out in talking to the other organizations that they get the same questions. So we're like, how can we put out a form with all of what our services are and put that on our websites, and then also give that to the media so that we can educate a little better. And so we're working on that currently. We reached out to Teresa at Ready too, because she has a form already, and so we'll probably just work off of that. But we're working with them. All the organizations actually are just kind of laid all their, we made it really well known from CCOG, like Lane is amazing. He was like, we don't want to compete against each other. Mm-hmm. We had Southeast Idaho Development Corporation too. And so everybody just kind of talked about what their services were, where the overlap, because we don't want to spend money on something that someone else is spending money on. And where can we save money where we don't need to be doing that service, especially because we're all small staff and they have a larger staff like at CCOG or one of the others. So the smallest ones of us, which is the majority, we all decided that we're just going to stick to our wheelhouse, but we're the most flexible for referring to those different areas. So we have to be really careful what we take on too. So it's really just about collaboration, and we hadn't done it in a while. we used to have these meetings, I think, before I came, and I think we just decided it was a good time now to start up again.
Anything else?
Good.
All right, thank you.
All right, well,
Pleasure.
thank you. It's always a pleasure to see you guys, and we'll give you an update in a month, or bring our budget, or you'll let me
Yeah,
know.
we'll have Christie reach out.
Thank
All
you.
right, with that being said, we are